Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's Bet on Black Pitch. This is the 10K Project. I'm Tawana Rivers, and we have with us another amazing founder, Alexis Samuels, who will be telling us about his company, FinLitX. I always want to say FinLitX, and I'm like, nope, it's FinLitX.
You put an accent over
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Fine.
So what I'm going to do is what I always do, right? I am going to pull up the campaign page. So let me share my screen so I can walk you through some of the specifics. Not going to steal Alexis's thunder here.
That's okay.
Okay, so if you can see my screen, this campaign is on Net Capital. As you guys know, for those of you who have been with us week over week, and for anyone that's new, we will be putting this link in the chat throughout the evening. And actually, Alexis, we created a custom link so that we could start to track the amount of traffic we're sending to your campaign page. So instead of the direct Net Capital link, we've created a custom link that kind of takes them through our system first, lands them on your page so we can give better analytics back to the founders. So that's something new we started last week. We're really excited about it.
Yes.
And so just trying to improve our process as we go. This campaign is $100 minimum. It is over on December 31st. So we've got 2 months, but as you know, I always say, don't wait till the last minute to do your due diligence and to make your determination, but there are 2 months left in the campaign. The price per share of this security is $5. To date, Alexis has raised a little over $34,000, so $34,380. Company is valuated at $10,355. This is all of the information. You'll see the specifics of the market analysis and all of those things. You see the team. So all of that, I'm going to let Alexis talk about all of that, but I wanted to show you the campaign page so that when you click on the link, when you landed to the right place because you'll be familiar with it. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. Again, the link that we'll put in the campaign in the chat is a custom link. So we ask that you please use that link. We even ask that you copy that link and save it somewhere. So let's say you want to go back and look at this campaign tomorrow or 3 days from now. Use that same link because, again, we want Alexis to be able to see what the traffic from the 10K project looks like and how beneficial this was for him so that he can make sure this was a good return on his investment, right? Let's just be honest. We want to make sure that he feels that he got the value that he was looking for, right? So with that said, Alexis, I am going to turn it over to you, sir. We're super excited to have you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tawana. Am I getting feedback?
No, you sound fine.
Oh, okay. I hear a little on my side. I am really honored and privileged to be here this evening with the 10K project. Salute to you for the fine work in which you're doing. And I want to particularly thank you, Tawana, for finding us and inviting us to this platform, along with Cherie. We appreciate so much the hard work that both of you are doing to support our community and the business opportunities that we are bringing, to our community. It's very, very important. I underscore that. Well, my name is D. Alexis Samuels. I'm the founder and CEO of FinLitX. That's one of 4 brands that comes up underneath the umbrella of our master corporation, incorporated in New York, called Brain Game Learning Systems. And we are an ed tech company that specializes in financial literacy education. Very important subject. Now, when you think about financial illiteracy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Do you think of obesity, depression, school dropouts, increased crime, poor nutrition, and health? What about early death? Do you think about those things when we discuss financial illiteracy? Of course, the traditional elements and consequences of illiteracy, namely high debt, low credit scores, lack of savings, we often think about those things. But financial illiteracy is a local, a regional, a national, and a global socioeconomic problem that disproportionately impacts those of color. Well, our solution to that major global problem is called FinLitX. Now, it said a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, video is even better. So let me share my screen and see if I could give you a overview of what the FinLitX app is. And we'll do it by video. How's that? Here we go. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Welcome to FinLitX, Financial Literacy for a Digital World. Financial illiteracy is the single biggest problem facing the world today, leading to food shortages, mental health problems, higher debt, increased crime, and higher prison population. Today, many schools are mandated to teach financial literacy before graduation. However, reduced budgets, limited staffing, and old-fashioned lesson plans produce too many students unprepared for the real world. FinLitX is the only app that uses cutting-edge AI, gamification, and adaptive learning to teach financial literacy to youth and adults alike, allowing users to play alone, head-to-head, or in groups, and earn valuable prizes. Science-based study shows that FinLitX can even improve your cognitive ability and actually remap your brain, replacing bad financial habits with good financial habits, creating a pathway towards success. Education technology is very important. Investment in EdTech has increased by 300% during 2020, and FinLitX is positioned to be the leader as we witness the biggest expansion in EdTech history ever. So join our social cause to empower our families everywhere with financial literacy. We invite you to invest in the FinLitX free IPO.
Okay. FinLitX is an autonomous app that is designed to teach financial literacy, both in schools as well as to the general consumer population. It's autonomous in that it doesn't require a monitor or a teacher in the traditional sense. What's quite unique about it is it automatically identifies your strengths and your weaknesses. And it asks you the question that will help to complete the understanding of that particular financial element. You see, many people today, many coursework that's available today in financial literacy teaches you the facts and figures, the multiplication, the pluses and the minuses, and those are all technical aspects of learning. But in order to change one's habits, and as our video indicated, in order to inspire a response, to change one's pattern, to enhance one's financial values, we incorporate unique artificial intelligence, which also combines with gamification. If you're familiar with gamification, it's those elements that most of us used early in life to learn simple things, whether it was mathematics, whatever it might have been in school. There was a rhythm put to it, repetition put to it, relational learning, and a reward system. Well, when these elements are overlapping important subjects like financial literacy, it creates a desire to want to learn. It deepens the learning process. It speeds up the learning process because we have science studies that show that using our app, what it does is makes the learning fun, enjoyable. It also releases dopamine during the game sessions. That's that reward hormone within our brains that actually enables us to like what we're studying in order to remap, as the video indicated, our learning systems. And so a little bit more about our corporation and our background and the opportunity. FinLitX has an extraordinary investment opportunity for the 10K project community that encompasses a number of different major elements. And we're going to take them one by one as we go through our presentation today. Well, background. How did we come to this point? We initially, under the corporation Brain Game Learning System, began to develop a game, tabletop game system called Road to Prosperity. After we produced that game in as early as 2007, we had a wonderful opportunity offered us to be able to distribute it globally, offered to us early on by a major global distributor called Walmart. We decided not to distribute through big box stores, but rather to distribute our financial literacy learning system. It was a tabletop system called Road to Prosperity, directly through school systems and social community organizations. I want to just illustrate that learning system for you. I'm still sharing my screen, so I'm going to take you to it. So I think you could probably see it now. This is the Road to Prosperity learning system that teaches financial literacy. It has expanded since then to encompass some 21 different subjects, including civil rights, banking and build your high credit score, health and nutrition, crime and punishment, of course, the main topic, financial literacy, culture and geography, economics, sports teams, social media, real estate, mortgage, and even stop foreclosure, law and ethics, career path. All of these topics are combined in the learning system so that when one uses this learning system, they're able to actually learn each of these subjects. Well, as we began to distribute it, we got extraordinary response from our communities. Right now, we're distributing in some 18 different states. We're in a number of different school systems that actually use our learning systems in order to teach soft skills within the schools. Right here in the New York area, we're in the New York City school system. And we've been invited by a host of other school systems to distribute there also. But then guess what? Something called COVID-19 came along toward the end of 2019 into the early parts of 2020. Schools began to shut down. So that hampered our ability to engage with the students using our learning system. But these schools turned to us and asked us whether we could translate our learning systems into a virtual environment, into an app that could thus allow them to continue offering it. And by the way, some 26 states mandate that financial literacy be taught to their high school students before graduation. Just last week, the governor of Ohio signed into law that starting next semester, all high school students must pass a financial literacy course in order to graduate. If they don't graduate that financial literacy course, they fail. So what's the market like that we're looking at? Well, in the United States, there are 15.1 million high school students, some 137,432 schools as of June of 2020. That includes 107 HBCUs. We have already been invited to introduce to a number of HBCUs, for example, Tuskegee Institute, Morehouse, Spelman. And we are also distributing through one of our partners, a global ed tech firm called Gift of College. We have market partners including UNCF, the United Negro College Fund, UNICEF, the Children's Fund. We work also with Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. I believe that's the largest fraternity now that encompasses and has undergraduates within all the school systems. And so we're looking at an $89 billion global ed tech industry that's on track to increase to 106 billion by the end of 2022. So the ed tech marketplace is just exploding. Why? Well, because COVID-19 really taught everybody a lesson that education has to be more flexible. Education must include not just classroom, brick and mortar sessions, but also hybrid learning, virtual learning. And that has opened the door for a tremendous amount of growth in the ed tech marketplace, combining good curriculum with good technology in order to deliver a better product and opportunity of education to our students wherever they may be. That's the marketplace in which we're in. So we've taken our learning system curriculums as we teach financial literacy, and we've combined it into an app that's available and accessible through both iOS and Android, through mobile, through laptop, through desktop, and through two different systems. One designed for institutional use, that is through school systems and corporations and community organizations, and another app that's designed for the general global consumer marketplace. And because we use gamification, it's a fun app to play. And there's a reward system associated with the app also. So and that's how we monetize, by the way. The reward system allows players to play the app, and as they play, to accumulate points and to play for specific prizes. And our suppliers, those ones who provide the prizes, doesn't put ads inside the app. We do not put ads inside the app, which would be a distraction. But rather, they pay us on the back end for the eyeballs that see their products. And so through advertising revenue, that's one form of monetization that we're able to include. In addition to that, though, one of the great rewards that those who play our app earn is cryptocurrency. If you notice in our video, our motto is financial literacy for a digital world. Isn't that the world in which we live in today? Whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum and literally dozens of altcoins that are available today. And the utility of these coins is growing from literally day to day as more retailers agree to accept cryptocurrency as a real value quotient. And so what we are also doing is introducing two coins to the marketplace. Yes, in February, we will be launching two coins to the crypto community. One is called the FinLitX coin. The other is called the RTPX coin. How do these coins work? Well, we are going to be distributing the RTPX coin to institutions throughout the United States, universities, all of the HBCUs, in order to initiate an education ecosystem critically needed that is decentralized, autonomous, and that enables our players to earn coins as they play and then spend those coins at different educational institutions. For example, consider the extraordinary student loan debt that exists today and the difficulty that many students, particularly within our communities, have in obtaining scholarships. Well, since as a high school requirement, schools are now requiring that students have access to financial literacy, our students will be able to play the FinLitX, learn financial literacy, and as they do so, earn valuable cryptocurrency in their associated wallets and spend those dollars at various institutions for tuition, for room and board, and for other educational sundries. We're also reaching out to a number of other retailers that are accepting more and more cryptocurrency. So this will provide an opportunity for a real circular ecosystem. Those two coins will be launched in the month of February. And we're currently in the midst of doing filings with the SEC for those coins. And it provides an extraordinary opportunity for us to be able to also teach the importance of digital currency and actually put it into practice. So when one invests with FinLitX, who are you investing with and what? Well, as already mentioned, we are introducing this opportunity to you this evening to be able to purchase shares of our corporation Brain Game Learning Systems, which is umbrellaing and which encompasses the RTP learning system, which is already in the marketplace, which has brought us to a $10 million valuation. And that will also encompass the revenue and value and increased market cap rate that will come from the launch of our cryptocurrency tokens. A little bit more about that. So there are two tokens. There's the FinLitX token, which is a security token. And that's going to be launched on a platform that will enable us to generate investment dollars. The second token is called the RTPX token, and that's going to be introduced as a stable coin pegged to the US dollar. And that's going to be distributed, gifted to universities nationwide. Once that coin is introduced and players are playing the FinLitX app, it creates a circular economy. We're keeping the revenue within our community. Very, very important. So those ones who invest with us will be able to partake of not just our current pre-IPO opportunity, which currently is predicting a 3x return within the next 12 months, but also will be able to take advantage of the increased value and return on investment that will come from the extra boost in revenue from the launch of our 2 coins, which is coming in February. Overall, at the end of a year, we're looking for about a 10x return. Very, very significant return on investment. Now, we can't promise that. We're not allowed to give you any predictions on what it's going to cost, but those are our goals. And what enables us to have such a far-reaching vision? Well, the fact that, as mentioned, there are some 137,000 schools within the United States. As we gradually approach these schools with our financial literacy app, mind you, it's mandated in already 26 states that they teach financial literacy. And there is no single app or curriculum within the United States for financial literacy that these schools are using. It's all somewhat individual. The standards are individualized, and our app will be introduced as an accredited financial curriculum that has all these bells and whistles. While some schools, even Title I schools, will pay a licensing fee for the app, other schools that may not be Title I or cannot afford it, might be under budget, will be able to obtain the app free because we have back-end monetization on these apps as well. Now that's institutional use. Then we have a global marketplace for our app, a gamified app dealing with financial literacy that includes testing, pre-assessment, and post-assessment. So we're able to measure the value in education that those ones who use the app and play the app are able to receive. So I only have a couple of minutes more that I have for my presentation. I think maybe what I can do is just talk a little bit more about how the app integrates with the cryptocurrency and how the cryptocurrency works.
And if you need to take a few more minutes, Alexis, please do.
Okay, thank you. Well, this circular economy is secured, as mentioned, by the FinLitX app. It is a security token that sits on an investment platform. We anticipate at our launch an increased value of anywhere between $5 to as much as $15 million within the first few weeks after launch. The money that resides in that governing or governor's app for security purposes maintains the stability of the stable coin, the RTPX app, because it can buy when there's a need to take RTP coins off the market in order to maintain its stable value, no more than 2% inflation up or deflation down beneath the US dollar. Institutions want to know that because they want to know that if they accept the app, they have something that's stable. They know what the value of it is. So if they're promoting the sale of college tuition or jerseys or whatever that retail value might be, they need to know what that is, and that if they accept off of the e-wallets of these students or consumers the RTPX coin, they know the value they're getting. There's also a liquidity pool sitting on the FinLitX platform that will enable sale of the value of that RTPX coin and keep the circulation of it going within our communities. So it's a very, very exciting program that we're putting in place that has extraordinary value. And we're happy to be able to introduce this very unique opportunity that's only really available of late because of the increased knowledge and use of technology in AI, in blockchain, and in smart contracts. All of these important elements are now in place. And as we deal with the regulatory elements, we're very, very happy to be able to introduce this very important product within our communities. We're also happy to announce that we recently formed a partnership with NYU. NYU is a major, not quite Ivy League institute, but it's often considered in the same breath. So working with the NYU Centers for Data Science in the development of our program, we see extraordinary value coming from the partners that we also have. We have lots of partners that we've been working with over the last few years, from UNICEF to the Gift of College to UNCF, Omega Sci-Fi Fraternity. Some of our media partners are Live Nation, iHeartMedia. We have worked with members of the NBA also. In fact, let me just quickly show you one video that I didn't get a chance to present in the beginning. Now, our sister company is Prosperity Nation. We are a not-for-profit company that distributes through government organizations as well. So let me show you this raving endorsement that we received a few years back, actually. The background on this video that came out of the NBA was, you remember when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. I'm sure many of you remember that. In the football community, that became a real big issue. So back in 2016, the NBA also had to take a stand on whether their players should take a knee during the opening ceremonies. Well, the NBA produced a 1-hour special prior to the opening game of the season between the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James was still on the team, the Cleveland Cavaliers back then. That 1-hour special dealt with a lot of socioeconomic topics relating to the very reason why players felt the need to take a knee and to protest against a lot of the issues that were prevailing then. Well, this video that I'm about to show you is the wrap-up of that 1-hour special. And each of the members on this panel were able to express their opinion, but we're going to take a look at one of them.
We're going to kind of wrap things up. If you can keep it to a minute or so, that's what we'll aim for. But maybe your takeaway from the show or what you'd like to leave the folks at home with. Ken, you want to go first?
Well, again, I think it's about socioeconomic differences that are really specific to Black and Hispanic people. I think that this, we have to find solutions. One of the solutions that I enjoy, I like, is what we call Prosperity Nation. And what they do is give people jobs. And it's a learning system that kind of plays like a game, but it teaches you about education, finance, all of the things that make you have. Unfortunately, police power is an economic influence. When you have an economic influence, you are able to do things differently and move in
Wow. So Prosperity Nation is our sister company. I'm the president of Prosperity Nation and the CEO of Brain Game Learning Systems that is introducing the FinLitX app. We have a lot of support. We're so excited about the opportunity that we have to make a difference. At the outset, we mentioned that financial literacy is not only about, it doesn't only impact our credit scores, our savings, our investing. Those things are very, very important. But many don't realize that it impacts our health, our mental well-being. Imagine what happens when you're facing debt and lots of financial anguish, the stress that comes over a person. The ability to introduce a playful resolution to that problem through the FinLitX app that could actually change the paradigm of what our community is experiencing. As far as the investment, we're looking forward to, with our global vision, being a $200 million corporation within the next 5 years. We've structured ourselves with that in mind. And if you take a look at the screen, I'll introduce you to just a couple of the people that we brought on board to make that happen. There's, as you see, myself as CEO, Natasha C. as Chief Operating Officer with 20 years of corporate experience, supervising such companies as Philips Microconductor, Doral Arrowwood, and she works with Prosperity Nation as well. Harold T. Epps, our corporate advisor. Harold has 35 years of business experience and has served for 7 years as the Director of Commerce for the City of Philadelphia. Lots of experience in corporate management, and also served as CEO and Vice Chairman of PRWT Services, a $200 million per year corporation. We're delighted to have such a strong board. We are committed to success. We have a long-range vision. We're inviting you to participate with us, both as an investor as well as an ambassador. Those ones who invest with us can work with us in marketing, distribution, referring schools to us. Our product, the RTP Learning System, is also used in many schools as a fundraising product as well. And so opportunities arise there also to generate revenue working with us in that respect. One of our main accounts that does so is the High School of Fashion Industries, which is in Manhattan, New York City. So we're well along in fulfilling our goal to help people, our students and consumers in our community, to achieve financial literacy. We invite you to join us in this amazing opportunity to spread financial literacy throughout our communities globally, to change the lives of our family and friends and our neighbors, and at the same time to earn significant return on your investment. So thank you so much for this opportunity to present the FinLitX opportunity to you. And I'll stay as long as I have to answer all the questions that you have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alexis. Please go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A if you have not already, and we will start asking those. Alexis, if you want to stop sharing your screen so that we can be bigger on the screen.
Great. How's that?
Don't forget the campaign links. The special campaign link is in the chat. All right. The first question is from Kevin. How are players of the game seeing your sponsors' products, not advertising?
Oh, well, when we think of advertising, we think about perhaps a pop-up, a billboard inside of an ad. But we have a relationship with a major advertising distributor that represents about 10,000 products. And it's a different approach. It's not direct advertising in the sense that when one logs into the app, they'll have an opportunity to select which prizes they would like to play for. That creates motivation, that creates competition, friendly competition, and that's a component of the gamification elements of the game. So they can actually play for that game. And of those ones who may not achieve the necessary points to win that game, what they're supplying to the community is the eyeballs that the suppliers of the product want to see. So in traditional advertising, what does an advertiser want, or a company that's selling their product want? They want eyeballs on their product or service. So rather than taking that product and placing it on a billboard, so that as you play the app and you pass by that particular product, you see it, well, those are the requirements that the advertisers have. And they pay us on the back end for those eyeballs. It's a volume opportunity. So, for example, we work with the New York City school system. We've done presentations with the school board for the city of Paterson, New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, Teaneck, New Jersey, Orange, New Jersey. When you total up 200,000 students, all of which that would be playing the FinLitX app in order to graduate, that's significant volume that generates revenue on the back end of the app. And then revenue that, of course, the investors count on as a return on their investment.
Alexis, are you currently in the 26 states that you mentioned have the state requirement? Are you actively establishing relationships in those states to also get into those, all of the schools in those
Absolutely.
states?
Absolutely, yes. We have ambassadors, I mentioned, through our Prosperity Nation not-for-profit relationship in each of those states. And those ambassadors being on the ground, boots on the ground, as it were, are those ones who actually can go to those schools or have connections. And some of the organizations that I spoke to earlier, such as the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, they're a global fraternity, and they have undergraduates inside each of these schools. So we formed a relationship with them also as a major distributor on the tabletop side. So now we're introducing the app to them that gives us easy access directly to all of these schools. Distribution is very important.
Wonderful. So in the chat, Wayne says, I would love to invest and become an ambassador. How does someone who wants to be an ambassador reach out to do so?
Well, what we would want to do is send us an email on that. We'll send you the application for that. If I can just state what the email is and maybe put it in
You can state
chat.
it and then also put it in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. It is social@finlitx.com. social@finlitx.com.
Wonderful. Chris says, is there a fee to use the app?
Well, it's going to vary depending upon its usage. As mentioned, the app has different usage. There's an institutional app under development that is designed for schools. Schools will have two different cost structures. One is a licensing arrangement that, and typically Title I schools are afforded revenue for some of these soft skills, especially since financial literacy is becoming so important now. They will pay a licensing fee and then have full access. The students will never pay anything for utilizing the app. And then there's a second app, a little more frilly, that goes out to the general population. It's a consumer-based app. Gamified apps are in extremely high demand. Combine financial literacy with that and a reward system where you can earn cryptocurrency, and even purchase NFTs in a virtual world, call it a meta universe. And we've been hearing that word meta more recently, coming from Facebook. That's how the consumer app is being designed. So there's a huge marketplace for that. And there will be a download fee in addition to the back-end revenue that comes from the advertising.
Very good. Sauda says, do you have student outcome data?
Yes, we do. Not from the app yet, but from our tabletop versions. And we can make that available to you. So anyone that would like case studies, we can post that on our website, and you'll be able to simply download that.
Kevin says, it appears the application is already developed, the cost of which have already been incurred. Software has low variable marginal costs. You already have some penetration in the marketplace. What do you need to raise funds for?
The app is not fully developed, first of all. We've created the framework for the app. We're still doing enhancing the AI components and the predictive learning components of the app. We're adding additional gamified elements to it. We're doing translation also into a number of languages. We're starting out with English, Spanish, and Portuguese. We've been invited into Africa and a number of other things that we're looking at there. You're right that pretty much once you get your app completed, and apps can be quite expensive. This is not the traditional templated app that might have a significantly lower cost. This is completely customized because there's nothing else like this out there. We will be going for a design patent and possibly even utility patent. Getting a patent on an app is not easy, but if the algorithms and the elements that you include within it, as far as its software and its utilization is unique, then we can get a utility patent on it. So that's what we're going for. So that's what we need the funds for. Of course, marketing is an expensive cost, and included within this also is getting us to two actually cryptocurrency platforms, all encompassed within the monies in which we're raising.
Very good. And I want you to expound a little bit. Marva's question says, how have you approached Africa or India in the communities less served? And you just mentioned briefly that you've done something with Africa. Can you go into more detail about that?
Sure. We've been approached by Ghana to assist with soft skill development and financial literacy. We've been also invited to have some discussions through the UNCF and also through UNICEF to address some underserved populations in other countries, such as Nairobi, in South Africa, in Kenya. So there are opportunities there. The financial platforms and curriculum that's needed in those countries is a little different than it is within North America. The rules by which financial literacy is delivered is different in those areas. So we have the ability to expand out through the relationships in which we have. And that's why this education ecosystem is so important. The FinLitX exchange that we're developing is a decentralized exchange. It's based and rooted in blockchain and in smart contracts. What does that mean as it relates to Africa, for example? A lot of education in Africa is delivered, and I'll just use the illustration, from the top down. It's financed through the top down. It's managed and administered through multiple layers of oversight from the top down. That adds cost to their systems and difficulty in delivering. As technology increases within these countries throughout Africa, they will be able to put their curriculum on our educational exchange based in blockchain and smart contracts. That will enable us to distribute electronically education to these countries, and with basic devices, schools and communities in a number of different locations in Africa will have access to education that's renewed, that's updated very fast, without a lot of the cumbersome elements that exist within the delivery systems today. And so keeping up with the technology is very important. And so our platform will be able to translate for them on the dime, as it were, very easily.
Very good. Ken says, are you competing in the New York City CTO's office Moonshot Financial Inclusion Challenge?
We're not participating within that. We are in the New York City Department of Education already. Our system is used, we're so proud of this, by homeless students, transitional students in the New York City area that travel to the downtown Brooklyn headquarters of the New York City Department of Education. And they play this system that you see behind me, called the Road to Prosperity Learning System. You become an owner of this system also when you invest with Brain Game Learning Systems. And I didn't say this at the beginning, but I invented the learning system that you see there. I had a unique upbringing. I was born and raised in downtown Brooklyn, product of a single parent household, growing up in the projects, but I believed I could accomplish more. The opportunities that were being extended to me. Education was and became the difference for me. I was bussed out to a different community where there were additional educational opportunities. Result, I finished high school at the age of 15. Didn't have to come back for the 11th and 12th grades. Ended up working on Wall Street at the age of 15. And when that initial company, which was an international trading company, went out of business 3 years later, I started my own business doing international trade. That gave me access to financial literacy. Up through the years, I've studied many other things, including I'm a 20-year paralegal. So I've been able to incorporate law into this learning system, real good financial values and motivation, so that when one plays it, it's like being introduced in reality to adult decision making. Yet you're only 13 years old or 9 years old, and you're rewarded for doing so, and it's fun. Go to our Instagram page. That's Prosperity Nation #1. You will see youth all over the country playing this learning system and having a great time doing it. You'll see adults, families working together playing this learning system and making amazing progress. One of the gentlemen on our board, who is Dr. Jeff Gardier, you may remember that name. He's often on CNN being interviewed. He's a psychologist, about 35, 40-year psychologist. When he first played the learning system, he was astounded and made the comment that never before was he able to get through to his 16-year-old son. But they actually sat down around the table and played the RTP learning system, and they had a conversation about financial issues, about things like dating and divorce and crime and punishment, and those types of topics that are not taught in school. But imagine being able to sit down at a table or on your own device and learn about these things and receive rewards for doing it. to have an e-wallet where you're actually earning income. Kenny Smith from the NBA made the comment, it's not enough to just learn, but $500 extra per month can change a person's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so we've incorporated the ability to actually earn income while you're playing these learning systems as well. And it's just exciting to be able to do that.
Wonderful. Ken Granderson made a comment in the chat, and Ken is one of the co-founders of blackfacts.com. They're a Black history company. They've been giving free Black history information to us for 20 years.
Wow.
Definitely a company you wanna know about, blackfacts.com. But what Ken is saying here is, he says, he was the one who asked the question about the competition. He says, great, I'm a finalist in the competition. He says, with a product that includes a functioning Black-owned digital banking app and card that can be used to purchase crypto and NFTs.
Nice.
I'd like to introduce you to our banking partner. I also know Harold Epps from Boston
good.
in the 1990s when I launched Roxbury.com. So he's
Wow.
asking you to contact him, and please contact me at ken@blackfacts.com. And I
Wonderful.
will tell you, Alexis, Ken is the real deal. Him and his partner Dale with blackfacts.com, they are two of the kindest gentlemen you will ever meet. They are more giving with their time and their connections, as we see in this chat, right?
That's
This
fantastic.
is
That's
very
fantastic.
indicative of their personality. So thank you, Ken, for that.
So I'm going to write down your name, Ken, and I'll pass it along to Harold. I'll probably give Harold a call tomorrow. So I just want to make that note. And can you give me your email address?
He's ken@blackfacts.com.
Okay, let me just jot that down. Ken at Black Facts, F-A-C-T-S?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Wonderful.
Got it.
Okay. I was going to hold Jackie's question till the end on purpose, because I know we wanted to talk about the great gift that we were giving, right? The perk that we were giving to anyone that invested. But I think this is a good time to talk about that. So
Okay,
Jackie says, I like this idea and I'm interested in the Road to Prosperity learning system. How much does it cost to join, play, or download the app? So Jackie, I'm glad you asked. Alexis actually has a special deal for us.
Yes, I do. Well, the app isn't ready yet. However, the learning system, and when one invests anywhere between $100 to $299, you will receive your choice of 3 different trivia packs, which comes along with the learning system. Either the financial literacy pack, the health and nutrition pack, and what was the third one that we wanted to reward?
It was financial literacy, health and nutrition, and crime and punishment.
Crime and punishment. Okay. Yeah, so that's the gift that we will give you with any contribution, any purchase of shares. Of course, so you're going to get shares and you're going to get return on investment. We are looking forward to on the shares, and you'll get a trivia pack as our gift and reward for purchasing the shares from us. Now that's any contribution up to $299, from $100 to $299. If you contribute $300 or more, you will receive the Road to Prosperity learning system. And all of it makes great gifts. We're in that gift period of time right now. And we'd be happy to send this out. Now, ordinarily, the RTP learning system retails for $149.99. That's the value in terms of its retail. Everyone who plays it, though, says it's priceless, and they wish they had it when they were young. Everyone says that. So I'm sure you'll say it too, but you'll have to get a copy in your hands first to be able to do that. But please go to the Net Capital site, the link that Tawana put up, And we'll look forward to working with you in the days ahead.
And I'll just give some specifics about this perk. We're going to handle this very much like we've done in the past with Benson Watch and Anasi Hair Care, where after you invest in FinLitX, you are going to send me at trivers@the10kproject.com. You're going to send me an email telling me that you have invested, and you do have to give me the level, the amount you invested, so that I know what bucket to put you in. And I'm going to create a spreadsheet, again, very much like I did with the other two campaigns that we had these special perks just for us. I'm going to create a spreadsheet with your name, first and last name, your full address, city, state, and zip, the amount you invested. If you invested the first layer, the first level of the 100 to 299, I need to know if you are interested in which pack you're interested in. Let me go back to them. Financial literacy, health and nutrition, or crime and punishment, right? If you do 300 or more, then that's automatically the entire learning system. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll go over that again. If you invest 100 to 299, you get the trivia pack, a choice of one of the three. So health and nutrition, financial literacy, or crime and punishment. If you do 300 or more, you get the entire Road to Prosperity learning system. What you're going to do after you invest, you will send you'll send me at trivers@the10kproject.com an email with your first and last name, your full address, and the level upon which you invested. So you will need to tell me the amount you invested. If it's level 1, you'll need to tell me the pack, the trivia pack that you want. If it's level 2, I'll automatically put you on the spreadsheet with the indicator that you get the whole package, the whole system. And we're going to do that. We're going to allow you to do that for anyone who invests by November 30th at 11:59 p.m. Right? So if you invest by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will get up on the next day and I will finalize the spreadsheet. I'll go back through my emails again, finalize the spreadsheet, and then for everyone who has sent me something, I will send that spreadsheet over to Alexis, and then he will take it from there. Once he has a rolling close for a certain amount of time, he will fulfill those perks to you. So it's very possible. We made the deadline November 30th so that he could do a rolling close right after that, so that you can get this for Christmas. So he's going to add a little extra administrative burden on himself by doing a close so that he can ship these before the holiday, so you can get it as Christmas presents if you're interested as well. If you have any questions about that process, I can go over it again. Just let me know.
Yes. And I'm going to just throw an extra gift out there. Is that possible, Tawana? Just to throw a little extra?
We don't turn down gifts around here.
Okay. So everybody who invests between now and November 30th, we're going to also add you to our list of opportunities to invest in the platform. That is, when we go live on February 1st, the scheduled date of the launch of the FinLitX token. And prior to it hitting other exchanges, such as a Coinbase exchange or a Kraken exchange, there'll be opportunities for, just like we are doing now with a pre-IPO on corporate shares, to participate in investing on that platform. Projected value right now is only going to be like 2 cents per coin, just 2 cents, but it's expected to increase as, 3x, 4x within the first few days. So that's another great investment opportunity. We just want to keep you on the list. Of course, we want you to do your diligence. as you would with the purchase of any crypto. But, for so long, we've been excluded from opportunities like this to participate in the launch of a new coin. How many of them do you know? Well, one that has a global vision, that's so firmly established within our current corporate framework, that has true value and will have utility as well, is an extraordinary opportunity. So
Wonderful.
we'll put you on the list for that as well.
So that's awesome. So Alexis, just to be clear, is that an airdrop or is that just access to purchasing it prior to it being on an exchange?
That's actually buying it prior to it being on the exchange.
Perfect. Thank
That's
you.
right. Yep.
All right. Warren says, does the app adapt? Warren, that's a little bit of a tongue twister. Does the app adapt to different levels of schools, meaning elementary, junior high, etc.?
Well, yes. First of all, there's a financial literacy 101, 201, and 301 that encompasses some of those concerns. But we're also designing it in a way where elementary school students will be able to comprehend some of the financial instruction that's given, and it's presented in a simplified format, more pictures, more simplified approaches, and doesn't get into a lot of the deep, mathematics or things like algebra and things of that sort. But again, we're talking about financial literacy. Our main tip of the arrow focus would be the middle schools and high schools. And then the more advanced 301 is going to deal with college level and postgraduate learning. We're also going to be introducing with one of the courses an accredited certificate and token that one can add to their resume. You see, right now, there's no brand in that marketplace. It's empty. Of course, you have lots of online programs that teach financial literacy, but that's approaching it in the cultural and in the rewarding way in which we have. It's a market that's wide open. We intend to fill that market right now.
So I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how the SEC changed their rules? You said the word accredited and it made this pop in my head.
Yes.
The SEC changed their rules. Maybe that was last year with COVID. I've completely lost track of time. But they changed their rules around who is considered an accredited investor.
Yes.
Typically, it's $200,000 a year for the last 2 years. If you're married, $300,000, or you have a net worth of $1 million or more. They changed the rules to say, or you can take, get a certain certification, right? It's very similar to like some of the financial planner certification, like the series 60 something or whatever. And then if you pass that, you automatically be considered, you're considered accredited because now you are a sophisticated investor, right? You have the knowledge that it takes to be sophisticated.
Yes.
I wonder if somehow you can incorporate that.
That's something that we will look into. I don't know what the criteria is currently for this certification in which they're talking about to be an accredited investor, but we'll certainly look at that as an opportunity.
Because I've been saying that's a game changer for our community, right? But not a lot of people in our community know about it. They're still thinking they have to make 200 grand for the last 2 years, right? Or marry up, right?
Yeah.
Right? And so they don't realize that they can just gain knowledge and immediately the playing field becomes level, because a lot of times our issue is that we don't have the disposable income to invest more money a year. It's because the SEC has limited us because they don't think we're smart enough to do it responsibly.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Look at that. Absolutely.
Teresa says, your achievements are just awesome and so
Thank you.
happy for you, Alexis. She says,
Thank
I'm a
you.
native New Yorker from Brooklyn. All
Hey,
right.
I got Brooklyn's in the house.
And Eddie says, hi, Alexis, and thank you for
Hey.
sharing your passion with the 10K family. This
Thank
is an
you.
incredible offering that will enable financial learning in places that would not otherwise be equipped. We
True.
hear about the plight of the Black and Brown communities. If things don't change soon in the way of wealth building and financial literacy, will FinLitX, as an education powerhouse, take on the role of communicator and repositor for course completion? This visibility of actual progress could become a catapult for others.
I'd like some more clarification on that question. Will we take responsibility for, was that communicating? Are we talking about communicating outcomes or becoming more of an advocate in the communities?
Eddie says yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're big on press, very big on press. Um, we're working with some of the most visible, both public relations talent within the New York City area. That's where we were domiciled. So that's sort of where we started. And we sort of fell there, as well as celebrity. So there's lots of opportunity for getting the word out there of not only what the needs are, but also how we're addressing those needs, and making that a very public matter. In fact, it's been suggested to us by some of the fraternities that we work with that we hold both local, regional, citywide competitions. Can you imagine a citywide financial literacy competition where schools compete against each other or community groups compete against each other? Because if you notice inside the video we showed you earlier, the app allows for group play, head-to-head competitions, and prizes can be awarded. So we're trying to make financial literacy as popular as gambling is.
I love that. I think about, I'm a New York City girl too, I'm a Bronx girl, but I think about growing up, we had spelling bee, we had storytelling competitions. I was in that. I actually went to regionals for storytelling competitions.
Really?
and we have debate. Imagine financial literacy competition.
Why not?
That is awesome. Why not? I love that. Why not?
And you can win a car at the end of the 18th hole if you you win. All of that's available to us, all of that. And just having the right platform, which we're in the process of building, in which we invite you to participate and help us get there.
Very good. Edward said, I'm jealous of you, T. I was never invited for spelling competition. I didn't make it to regionals for spelling. I was in the spelling bee too, but I made it for storytelling. Spell check ruined me though. I can't spell worth a darn anymore because now it's just like, oh, let me just do spell check or let me Google.
Isn't that easy? Yeah.
This has been awesome. Any other questions, guys, before we close out? Any other questions? Any questions about the special offer? Let's see. Marva says, have you considered adding the currency market? Adding the currency market, I would like to start with junior high school students and beyond.
The currency market?
Yeah, what do you mean by currency market, Marva? We'll give her a minute to answer that. Perez says, is it possible to actually use the I hate to say it MLM model to incentivize the people on the app to bring in other participants to the platform to take the app or the platform and finish the education that then has value in the coin offering on the platform?
Wow. Well, we're not using the MLM model for distribution. However, we do have a unique system that we've built that allows for overrides to be given for those ones who distribute and sell on a direct sale basis. The learning system, as I mentioned before, we have ambassadors. These ambassadors promote the sale of the RTP learning system, and they receive a direct commission on the sale. It's actually 40% of gross revenue goes directly to that ambassador. So let me illustrate it for you this way. This is a very unique situation that we have here. We're the only ones that has a product like the RTP learning system. Both the main platform that comes in this box, along with some 21 different subjects that interchange in the overall play, enhancing our knowledge and education and abilities in each of those areas. So what we decided to do was, and this came to us when a number of schools in privileged communities did not have enough money for paper, pencil, supplies. Teachers had to go out, and it still happens today, and buy supplies for their classrooms. We said, why don't we hold some fundraisers, for the school, selling the RTP learning system and allowing the parent association to keep the commissioned revenue that comes from the sale of these units. One of the first schools that adopted that practice is the High School of Fashion Industries in Manhattan, New York City. I went in, met with the principal on the first meeting in his conference room. He signed the agreement and we got started just like that. That was almost 3 years ago. But this is how it was designed. So there's an ambassador who happens to be a model, and her son happens to go to that school. She got us in the door. She receives a percentage override on every game that's distributed. Each student that joins the fundraising campaign, and parent as well, receives a website from us, an e-commerce website, which allows them to upload their social media and send it to that website for a purchase. When the sale goes through, that student, rather than gets a catalog with toys in it to select from all the candy they sold, they promoted financial literacy within their community, within their school. They raised the bar significantly. So as they're promoting financial literacy, they earn an override commission, and usually the parent association receives the bulk of the revenue that comes from the overall campaign, because parent associations are only allowed to participate inside certain kinds of allocations from Title I funding. And there's a lot more that they would like to accomplish but can't because they don't have the funding. So when you can introduce the RTP learning system in your school, let's say you're in California, you're online with us tonight. We all have kids that went to schools or that might be in schools now. You can be an ambassador, introduce us to that school, that principal. We'll do the work, we'll contact them. We'll introduce this fundraising opportunity. And guess who'll get the override? You will. You're gonna have to do a little more work than that, but we'll train you in how to get that done. So there's so many different opportunities available here where we can help each other promote education, which makes the difference in empowering us individually, as families, breaking the chains, enabling us to achieve our goals financially, and really, really feeling good about making a difference, within our communities. There's money to go around. This is how to keep it inside the community.
This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna hate a little bit on the overpriced candy bars and the wrapping paper that costs $1 million for, just for the sake of fundraising. To make a difference in the community and tie it to school fundraising is brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. because those candy bars don't even have as many nuts as it used to 20 years ago.
And they're
They're
smaller.
$2 now, right? Instead of $1 and less nuts, and they're smaller. So there's something that can add value.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, we're so happy. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do. And that's what Kenny Smith from the NBA was referring to. He said they give people jobs. We don't really employ people, but they become our ambassadors. And they go out and promote financial literacy and these life skills. And it makes a difference in their lives. Go to our Instagram page. It'll crack you up to listen to what the kids are saying as they're playing. And the excitement that these kids are having as they play is truly extraordinary. Yeah.
Wonderful. See if we've got, I think we have one more question. Marva. Oh, Marva gave us clarification. So she was talking about the foreign currency market. So have you considered adding foreign currency?
In some of the trivia associated with the financial literacy, you'll find currency related questions. We don't really spend a whole lot of time in foreign currency because that's very individualized. And there are certain rules of currency adjustment factors and the importance of understanding really the value of the US dollar against other currencies. That's important to know, but we really don't go too deeply into the other currencies. When we venture off into, for example, countries in Africa, then that'll become our focus, to focus on the specifics of that particular currency for the purpose of teaching their community.
This has been wonderful, Alexis. You know, I'll share with the community. Alexis and I loved this so much that I talked to him about potentially coming back and doing some kind of a mastermind where we become a cohort to play the game.
Oh,
like, you know, I want to have fun like the kids on Instagram, right? Because there's still a lot for all of us to learn as well, especially since all of us are at different parts of this financial wealth building journey, right? And just because, you know, we may know a little more than some, I'm sure there's something for all of us to learn. So you'll see Alexis again. This will not be the last time you see Alexis.
Not to be too long-winded, but I'll also just relate this experience. About 3 years ago, there was a group that came out of a major fraternity committee made up of the Ways and Means Committee and some other dignitaries, but they all came out of the legal and the mortgage industry. Now, of course, our learning system deals very heavily with real estate also. You will learn how to buy a house just by playing the learning system. The goal is to be the first to acquire $1 million in combined income, cash and assets, including suburban homes, starter homes, condominiums, and mini mansions. That's all in there. And you have to follow the rules. You have to get a mortgage. You have to put a deposit down. You have to have the right credit score. All of those elements interact with each other as you're playing. So a group of about 20 of these mortgage professionals got together and they asked me to send them 5 games. I sent them down 5 games. They were getting together that weekend. That following Monday, I wanted feedback. They sent me 5 questions challenging the validity of a couple of the questions and 2 or 3 of the answers. Within about an hour, we replied with the law behind those questions and how the questions were posed were designed to determine whether the person really understood what they were learning. So it's real good relational learning. You're not going to get away with anything. No freebies, no mulligans, as it were, but you're going to learn. And when those mortgage professionals and real estate professionals understood, they were blown away. They were just very appreciative, very appreciative. So, hey, we look forward to playing with you. Whatever we can do to make that experience a rewarding one is why we're here.
Great. Perez says, how long does it take to finish the game?
Well,
They're like
Uh,
Monopoly where we be sitting here for 10 hours.
oh, no. It's up to you. It's an ongoing learning process. So we ask you not to rush it, but 1 hour perhaps. There's a third die that you can throw to speed up your way around the various neighborhoods on the board. But it's really up to you, and you can save your scores, end it, and come back and continue playing.
Nice. Very nice. I am super excited. Alexis, thank you so much. To the community, I will plead like I always do. I'm not making any endorsement. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't tell you what to add to your portfolio. But what I can tell you is that we're all here to support the Black entrepreneurs. And the one way we can do that is to invest. The other way we do that is to share this campaign with everyone you know, right? And so please share this campaign. If you're interested in the perk, sorry, if you're interested in the perk, please refer to the chat where the details will be put again. Alexis, take over.
Yeah, go ahead and put your information in the chat. When you invest, be sure to email to Tawana to give her your information, how much you invested, and your address so that we can get these gifts out to you and these rewards for your participation. And Tawana put her contact information in the chat room. So it's trivers@the10kproject.com. You should include the level of investment, and you have the choice of the 3 different trivia packs, either financial literacy, health and nutrition, or crime and punishment. And that crime and punishment pack is amazing. Our kids need to know what to say if they're pulled over by the police, what to do, what not to do, the consequences of, the wrong actions. Too many of our young Black children, male and female, are not being educated, and they're making the wrong choice in the spur of the moment. So having this tool is very, very, very important.
Wonderful. Alexis, any final comments from you?
Well, I just want to thank you, 10K Project, and Tawana and Cherie, for your generosity. And really, I want to thank you for developing the 10K Project, because look at the marvelous things that you're doing in the community. Starting a business is impossible without funding. And quite frankly, many of us pedal in place as we try to bootstrap our ideas. That takes us a lot longer to get off the ground than if we learn how to start a business with a business plan, a written business plan, and with proper support from consultants and accounting and legal and finance. And if we learn how to evaluate our businesses and how much is needed for startup capital, well, the 10K Project has made that so much easier for us to acquire, because the institutions out there are not looking at opportunities within our communities. So we thank you, Tawana, for making this available, and FinLitX is grateful to you for this opportunity this evening.
You're very, very welcome. One final question Eleanor put in here. Once you finish playing the game, will there be updates added in the future? So will there be new trivia packs and all of that?
Absolutely. And it's a great question, because that's one of the conversations we had with NYU, New York University. They like what we're doing too. And one of the ways in which we'll work with them is by using their youth, their think tank elements. We also reach out to other kids within the community to help us formulate questions, to see what's on their mind. Recently, we got good feedback from some kids at the High School of Fashion Industries to in the next edition, add questions about NFTs because they're interested in learning more about NFTs. So we're going to go ahead and, enhance that element as well. So absolutely. And any other recommendations anyone has, we're always open to consider them.
That's wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. Some of you have been rocking with me since 6 o'clock this evening, and you came right back and hung out again. So thank you, guys. You are an awesome family and community. I would not want to be surrounded by any better people. So thank you so, so much. Good night to you, Kevin, as well. You sleep tight as well. I think I'm gonna get some nighttime medicine and go night. Hopefully that'll help this cough. But Alexis, great work, great presentation. Thank you so very much. And we'll talk because we got some mastermind talking to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us.